April 26, 1986, just after midnight, a sharp blast ripped through the sky over Pripyat in Soviet Ukraine. The night lit up with fire and smoke. People looked up and stared. No one knew yet. This was not a normal work accident. It was the start of a disaster that would change countless lives. Firefighters from Pripyat arrived within minutes. They did what they always did. They rolled out hoses. They aimed at the flames. They tried to put the fire out. But this fire was different. No matter how hard they worked, the flames did not fade. One firefighter picked up a black chunk. It looked like broken stone. Even through thick gloves, it felt painfully hot. He dropped it and pulled his glove off. His hand was already swollen, the skin badly burned. The captain saw his condition, smelled a sharp metallic odor in the air. He knew this fire was not normal, not like anything before, but the flames filled the sky. There was no time to stop and think. After a short pause, he grabbed the hose again and went back to work. At that moment, had only one job put out the fire, but this job was different. Because the name of the place is Chernobyl. At the same time, inside the nuclear power plant, control room operators followed routine checks. They logged reactor readings. Then the explosion hit. The room fell silent. Seconds later, alarms screamed to life. The man in charge, Deputy Chief Engineer Anatoly Dyatlov, froze. When he heard the blaster report came in quickly. A fire in the turbine hall. Dyatlov snapped back to action. He started giving orders. Disconnect. The system switched to backup controls. Activate. Backup pumps pump water into the reactor in his mind. This is still an incident that can be resolved through proper procedures. Then another report arrived. The reactor core exploded. Dyatlov rejected it. Instantly, he insisted the reactor could not explode. RBMK reactors were considered safe. They were a point of national pride. An explosion is impossible. So something else had to be wrong. It could only be a water tank explosion. It can only be localized. Damage, nothing more. He called the fire department. They claimed it was just a regular fire. He said nothing about the core, nothing about dangerous exposure. He wanted to keep the crisis contained, inside the plant as long as the reactor had not exploded. Everything was still under control. Controllability is the answer he needs most. Inside the control room, warning lights flashed, non-stop alarms rang and were shut off. Gauges jumped wildly, but none of the numbers showed what was really happening. A young operator spoke. Up, he said, the detectors had failed. The meters only showed beyond limit. The true level was far higher than the equipment could read. Dyatlov exploded in anger. He accused him of panic, of spreading fear. He ordered him back to work, then repeated his claim. The core could not be destroyed. To prove himself right, Dyatlov ordered a visual check. 2 engineers were sent in toward the worst area. They moved through dark corridors, the floor covered in debris, the air thick with a sharp metal smell. As they approached the reactor, the radiation was so intense it was almost indescribable, but they didn't know, and no one had told them. Their meters spiked instantly. The needles slammed to the edge. That did not mean it was safe. It meant the danger was off the scale. Through broken concrete, they saw the inside of the reactor. In that moment, they knew the truth. It was far worse than expected. Before they could report back, their bodies began to fail. A metal taste filled their mouths. Their skin burned. Dizziness and nausea followed. They stumbled back to the control room, using their last strength, returned to the control room, and said the words that mattered. The reactor has exploded. Even so, Dyatlov still refused to accept it. He called it a mistake, a misunderstanding, fear clouding judgment under his command. The reactor cooling system continued to operate. A large amount of water was constantly being injected. An already exploded core in a state of high temperature and radiation. The water instantly evaporated, but no one realized that these steam was carrying radioactive substances to even farther places.